The overriding plan when something like this is headed your way is stay on the air, stay online, give the viewers what they need.
What happened to us, we really shouldn't have been back on the air for several weeks.
And we did it with duct tape and whatever else it took. It was our most difficult hour, and it was our finest hour.
So the rain started Saturday evening, and it really just never stopped. At about 6 or 7 a.m., I was on the set, looked down, and here comes a little bit of water.
There you go.
Yeah, that's Buffalo Bayou.
That's Buffalo Bayou coming into our studios.
One of our engineers came into the studio with a shop vac, and he was loading the shop vac in, and I just had to turn to him and say, Jason, you're not going to be able to shop vac up the bayou.
So we go to the top of the stairs overlooking the lobby, and there's a waterfall coming through the front door.
No one could have ever anticipated that this storm would knock us off the air. We had to move our new studio, move it to the conference room,
which is on the second floor,
and set up because we were taking on water.
The call was made, we need to evacuate.
This is a place of business that we love and we go to every day, and there were some tears shed for our home that we were in the process of losing.
Before we pulled the plug, the control room is telling Brandy Smith, you're it, babe. You got to stay on the air and you got to keep talking.
Let's take our coverage out to Brandy Smith.
We were live already for maybe about 15 minutes. All of a sudden our IFB goes out. 30 seconds later my phone rings saying, we're going to leave you punched up because we're abandoning the station. We're going next door to the Federal Reserve. Just tell her to keep talking until we call you back.
We were in the middle of this marathon live shot.
I just heard from our crew back at the station that the crew there is evacuating KHOU 11.
And we see the truck. Mario spots it, and the lights are on, and the windshield wipers are going. But as we got a little closer, you could see movement, and that's when I realized there was someone still in there.
There is now water filling his cab.
He was in the truck. There was 12 to 15 feet of water on either side.
With the current, you could see the water flowing.
Just checked on him, made sure he was okay, and then I swear it was like that moment I turned around and the sheriff's truck is there with a boat on the back of it. They stopped and told us that that's the same spot where a driver had died a year before.
The officer said, it's gonna take a minute because we need to find a safe spot to put this airboat out. I mean, it was maybe 10 minutes, but it felt like hours. Just staring at that boat, not getting the water.
Right as they kind of take off like they're gonna put in, that's when KHOU's signal went dead.
We went from the flooded KHOU studios to the Federal Reserve building where we gathered our thoughts.
We're about to move over to the Federal Reserve next door. They have an elevated, fortified building.
And then just a few hours later, we all drove over here to Houston Public Media, and we were back on the air.
And we did it with duct tape and whatever else it took until we got reinforcements from other company stations.
And I don't know if there's a world record for how quickly a station can go from flooded to back on the air, but I think we may have set it.
I am really so immensely proud of the effort to get on and stay on.
What we've heard from coworkers and viewers, and you're waiting to see if this guy got out. They were locked in too. It was like a movie.
When we finally heard those propellers go, I'm like, here we go, they're gonna get him.
I told Richard, I said, now grab onto his side mirror if you can, because we're gonna hold us there in case there is a current that'll pull us away from him. We don't want that.
I pulled up, I said, are you all right? He goes, yeah, I think so. I said, I'm pretty wet.
They got Roberson back on land, and his fate will not be the same as the man who lost his life here a year ago in almost the same situation.
My father's a truck driver. He's been driving for 30 years. And I would just hope that if he was ever in trouble like that, somebody would help him.
Thank God that you guys was right here to get me, put me back on land safe. I appreciate you.
This is gonna sound weird, but can I hug you? I am so happy you're okay.
Everyone has sacrificed something for Harvey.
You think, well, the bar is set so high now, it can never get any worse than that. And the fact is that it can, and it probably will someday. Until then, we just remain vigilant and watch for the next storm to roll in and do our best to warn the people.